So, welcome to the KaK M Show for another special edition of what's been going on in the news this week.
What's been going on in the news?
I don't know.
Not much then.
Not a lot.
I'll tell you one thing though. It does seem like they're getting more desperate, and the fact that Salmon's been is in court in the dock or whatever.
Dirty bastard.
It looks like they're gonna. I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's another false flag soon to try and distract from, because everyone's starting to, even those that didn't know what was going on before are seeing things and are starting to put two and two together and realise that we're slaves.
So, let's see that squirrel. Yeah, Alex Salmon, he'll probably bribe the judges, and if there's a jury, he might, I don't know. But what has been going on in the news recently? What were we talking about earlier?
Trump's opened up the...
Oh, he's got the US government rolling again, hasn't he? I guess he's thrown all his toys out of the pram, and what we were saying over lunch. I was in a shop a few weeks ago, and this woman heard me talking about Trump, and and she said, "Oh, at least you can guarantee one thing: that Trump has done everything he said that he was going to do." And I said, "Oh, really? Can you name one?" She went absolutely berserk at me, just flipped, screaming and shouting at me.
That's because they expect you to just say yes and agree with them.
It was unreal. What else has been going on this week? What else did we want to talk about? I've not got any notes with me today.
Well, there's Brexit, of course. The non-existent exit.
It's guaranteed that's not going to happen now.
But I think there could be some trouble if they don't deliver. I mean, it's got to be no deal, because everything that she has done, she's basically committed treason. In fact, we should get a petition together. They will reject it anyway, but...
Isn't it still... We're in the UK, we're in England, to our worldwide viewers, but hanging is... You can't be hung, or you can't be... I think in America, in California, you can still be executed by... or put to death by lethal injection or electrocution, but in England they can't do that at the moment.
Well, just because they...
actually, you can still get executed for treason, can't you? That's
no.
Isn't that the only thing?
97, they repealed the death penalty for treason, because Blair knew he was committing treason, and of course, you take it retrospectively, you can't repeal it for the crimes he'd already done, so he's still liable to be hung. But at the end of the day, when this uprising comes, we will decide the punishment. Just because they've written down, oh no, there's no death penalty for that. If we decide their crimes are that bad, they need executing, then execution it is.
It's amazing how they all of a sudden, we'll abolish, so we'll this and we'll abolish that, so we can get away with it.
Because we're committing treason, we better just abolish the death penalty, because if we get caught, we don't want to be dead, do we? I
mean, Amber Rudd is one of those prime examples of a pretty awful person. To actually exist on this planet, the things that she did to the lovely Windrush people.
Well, look, she lied to
and they
Parliament.
Committed suicide.
As I've said, you can lie to us. They can lie all they like to us, but they can't lie to Parliament, because then they get the sack and then brought back a few months later.
People died, and now she's even in a better paid job.
Yes, the one where she can kill more people.
So if the more you fuck up in Parliament, the better jobs you get, or the more sadist or horrible you are. Well, the more you hate other selves, because I've always said this, haven't I, that they're our negative other selves, and they're serving themselves and their mates. They're not serving us. There's nobody to vote for. There's no reason to even register to vote if you know what you're doing when you register. A lot
may fall for it. I mean, I've not been on the voters register for 10, 20, 30, I don't know, years and years and years anyway. Because there's no point. You could see all the way back then. It doesn't matter who you vote for. The same shit carries on, because
government wins.
Yeah, and it's not the faces you see like Blair or Cameron or May. They're just puppets. The real government,
same shit, different
stay
face.
There all the time. That's why the same shit carries on whenever it changes. It alters it slightly, but then the same shit carries on to the agenda that they'd already predetermined was going to carry on. It's like David Icke said, the totalitarian tiptoe. They do it slowly, tiptoe, tiptoe, and we are in dictatorship now. right now.
So I'd say this again, that the messages to our servitude, our servants, our public servants. Do you realise that you've got to come back to this shithole when you reincarnate, or your grandchildren have got to come back to all this mess that you're actually destroying the planet as well?
Yeah, but they don't give a shit about anyone but themselves.
Well, when they've got to come back to this mess, when they realise it, it's going to be a bit of a shock for them, isn't it? Especially young souls. Old souls haven't got to come back to this crap of a planet, this cesspool of the universe.
Which, in actual fact,
which apparently is civilised. I assure you that this planet is not civilised. Not with this stuff going on that we report.
What about in France?
Oh, is it Italy's? That's been in the news, isn't it? Italy's Prime Minister said to the French people, "Yeah, get rid of Macron. He's terrible.
Rothschild puppet.
He's terrible. Get rid of him." I think they've teamed up with somebody else, haven't they?
In France.
He's teamed up with Merkel.
In France, yeah. Well, in France, the police,
NATO,
so violent, have killed 10 people so far, hundreds, if not thousands, injured. And where's the outcry in the mainstream media and in the other countries? You can't do this, because like when they try and say Libya's done this or Syria, oh, they use gas. Well, they're gassing the French.
Move along, nothing to see here. Move along, move along.
But interesting, I've been watching quite a few of the videos, and you'll see the police are in plain clothes. All they've got is a red band on, and that's so they can slip that band off and be a yellow vest if they want to be, and then when they want to, slip it back on. And that's why they've got rucksacks as well, because they carry the helmets in the rucksacks. And so they can just blend in with the rest. Oh.
I've just recalled something else that's been in the news. We saw it in the paper. There's a film, was it ITN? Have found a film from 1964.
Oh, yeah.
Was it 64 or 84?
It might have been 54. It was 50s or 60s.
Queen Elizabeth of the UK PLC, number 2, her husband, goes by the name Philip the Greek, he was born in Corfu, he was in the SS during Adolf Hitler's time. And by the way, people, these are the people that the monarchs of England, these Nazis. Apparently there was a piece of film that came from a documentary from years ago, and it shows this Prince Philip, that there are no princes, and he just has no emotion whatsoever and drives and
straight down the middle of the road.
Straight down the middle of the road and moves this guy onto another.
Just barges him out the way.
Barges him out the way with no thought, no emotion whatsoever.
Ah, yeah, peasant, stupid peasant, you shouldn't even be on the road.
Yeah. And, well, it just shows you that there's one rule for them and
also, while we're on that...
You know, I still love them all, but they don't know who they are because they're very, very infant souls.
There was the groundskeeper or gamekeeper or something at Buckingham, Sandringham or wherever, hits a bloke over the head and is, get out of the way, you peasant, you stupid peasant. Split his head open.
So they actually think that they're above everybody else.
And this is just a groundskeeper.
Do you know, all there is, all there ever was, all there ever can be, which we are all fragments of, there is no low grade or high grade. You know, there's nobody above you and there's nobody below you. It's all 100% grade A, like Seth used to say. We're all perfectly perfect as we are. But what they don't realise is, we've always said this, what they're doing to others, they're doing to themselves, and what they don't do for others, they're actually doing for themselves. And when you survive physical death, like a friend of mine just has, because a friend of mine dropped stone cold dead the other day. And
he's only 55 as well.
Yeah, nice guy. Went to his funeral yesterday.
Went to bed and didn't get up.
Yeah, and I still can't believe that I'm not going to physically see him again. You know you are. And I'm sure he's having plenty of fun in the astral realms and realises all the metaphysics that I used to say to him was like, oh yeah mate, you were right about that, weren't you? Well, what does it take to prove it? Death? Nobody's come back from death. We all have come back from death, but with the veil of forgetting, in order to have a different experience and forget what was before. Otherwise it'd be like playing a game of chess and you knew every particular move and you've played every single game, it'd be boring.
You know the worst thing about it?
What's that?
You get to judge yourself except through pureness. your higher self is pure, and it's you, which is part of you, is going to judge what you're doing now.
You have a life review after death. A lot of people ask me to talk about the veil of forgetting. Obviously, when you survive physical death, the veil of forgetting's not there. It's not needed. And if you believe in God and Allah, you're going to have that experience. If you believe in heaven and hell, you'll have that experience. But there are, like, for want of a better word, guardian angels there, other people like us, which explain actually you're it. You're creator of all that is, all that ever was, all that ever can be. And you're experiencing yourself to the infinite. So here's your life review. And what do you want to do next? And some people go, oh, I was Donald Trump, or I was Theresa May, or I was George Bush, or I was, think of an horrible, nasty serial killer that's been in Parliament.
Tony Blair.
Tony Blair, the serial killer. You imagine, Tony, this is the life review, and he's going to go, oh, really? I didn't pull the trigger at all those people in Iraq.
All I did was give the order.
All I did was give the orders. I honestly thought I was doing the right thing, but I wasn't doing the right thing, was I?
Well, that's a good point, actually, because that shows you there was 2 or 3 million protested against the war with Iraq, and they just ignored you because they don't give a shit.
The serial killer Tony Blair. Yeah, you're going to get a bit of a shock.
And David Cameron, another serial killer.
Yeah.
Theresa May, another serial killer. Brown, another serial killer.
You're all going to get quite a shock when you survive physical death. You really are. And you've got to come back to this shithole of a planet, haven't you?
Because you're very infantile souls. That's if you've taken the soul test, of course, you'll find out.
If anybody wants to take the soul test, go to michaelteachings.com. Just talk to your phone, michaelteachings.com, and you'll see it's soul test. There's a series of questions. Do you know there's actually a question on there? We were just going to finish this video. There was a question on there, would you murder, would you rape? Would Alex Salmon tick that box?
No, because he's also a liar.
Oh yeah, but he would be lying to himself. If you take it in private, right, and if there are people out there who would rape and murder and you tick the box, the result you will get at the end will be that you're an infant soul, type soul. But if you, it's like most of these questions didn't apply to us, but we love others unconditionally, and we like to try and wake the world up. And guess what type of souls we were? And a friend of ours, Callum.
Old.
Yeah, old souls we are. And as I say, this is my last incarnation, so I'm quite looking forward to moving to the 5th dimension.
You're skipping the 4th then?
Oh, I've been there. The 4th I already know about. The 3rd dimension is dimension of physicality. See? Look, it feels real. Real. That's an illusion because of the outer 5 senses. Yeah? And the next dimension, the 4th, which our mutual friend talked about, the 4th dimension, is the dimension of love and light.
I'll tell you, but the better way...
Love and light.
The better way to understand this reality, there's that film where they go off that planet, and Sigourney Weaver's is in it, where there's a crippled guy that goes into that puts his essence into this being, this blue being. I can't recall what it was called.
Not Avatar, was it?
Avatar, that was it.
Is that Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah.
I loved that film. It was really nice.
And that's basically what this is. We're still up there, but we've put our essence into this body for this experience.
Where we come from, we do not look like this, nor do you. This is just one of our fragments. We comprise of each of us more than 1,000 entities. Right, we're more than 1,000 human beings. And we're actually spirits, couched in creaturehood and flesh and bone at the moment, but that's not what we are. We discard these avatars when you survive physical death. So we're going about was there anything you wanted to add to that?
Well, I just want to point out that when you go for a drink and you go to the top shelf, what are they called?
Spirits.
Because it can allow other entities to access you when you have too many spirits.
You can be willing into, like in trance mediums, you can teach yourself how to channel. There's a book, Sanai Remain, open to channel.
Be very
good.
Careful.
Very, very good. No, don't be careful.
Yes. You don't want to be
safe.
Yeah.
It gives you good instructions, open to channel. I need to find myself a girlfriend in order to channel.
But
Methuselah wanted to channel through me, apparently the oldest man that ever lived.
never say, is there anybody there?
There's everything there. Everything. Get the Ouija board out, you can have a lot of fun with that. But just have nice feelings about other things and don't be silly. But yeah, get a bit changed. I've got 2 new books along the way. Psychic Politics by Jane Roberts and The After Death of somebody, I can't recall what it was. Some original books coming from America, I'm waiting for those. Oh, anyway, we're talking about dimensions, yeah?
Yeah.
So the third dimension is the dimension of physicality, an illusion because of the outer 5 senses. If you ignore the outer 5 senses, you can see beyond the illusion of time and space and see into other systems.
Let's not forget we've got more than 5 senses.
We've actually got sense of humour, all right?
Common sense.
Common sense, yeah? Intuition, that's
Sixth
another
sense.
7th, 8th and 9th.
Yes.
There are other senses.
Many more.
But I was just talking about the 5 senses. So the 4th dimension is the dimension of love and light and oneness. When you realise that, you can move on because you're wise.
If we don't destroy this planet is heading to the 4th dimension.
Yeah. So the 5th dimension is the dimension of wisdom. The 6th dimension, there's no language or communication for it. All I can describe it is, you know when you have, you make love with your girlfriend, your wife, or your boyfriend, your man, right, and you have the orgasm, and it comes from the root chakra and comes out of the top of the head, and you have that nice feeling, the orgasm, sexual orgasm. Mm-hmm. You can loop it, but be careful, because you can get it trapped. If you loop it like an ankh, don't.
Well, there was a woman in Brazil.
Yeah.
That I can't remember the full story now, but basically she orgasmed and orgasmed and orgasmed over and over and over again until she died, and she died of orgasm.
Right, like in that film, have you seen Brainwave with Christopher Walken and that woman with the blonde hair from Space 1999? Brainwave. We've mentioned this before. They devised this tape machine which they can record the mind, and this guy goes from thinking of the prostitute, and he goes back to the lab and he loops the tape, and he's like this, and they find him in the lab the next morning like this, big smile on his face, dead from multiple orgasms.
And as you saw there, that was his sex face.
No, he wasn't honest. I've got to get myself a girlfriend, seriously. So yeah, the 6th dimension is like a triple orgasm. It's the orgasm when you have sex with a partner, the sexual orgasm. Do you know when you really listen to a really nice piece of music and you get that sort of shudder down your back like somebody's walked over your grave?
No.
Have you ever had that?
No.
You know, when you listen to a piece of music and you go, ooh, that's nice. That's an oral orgasm through the hearing. And then the 3rd orgasm is an orgasm. This is the 6th dimension, what it's like. I haven't got words for it. So it's like having those constantly. And do you know what the 7th dimension's like?
Not yet.
It's like this.